I once knew a spy.
Spies are your spy.
She was brilliant, erratic, cursed, an anti-personal mine in human form. Her friends called her Herschel, but to her controllers, she was Cascade.
Your name and your cryptonym. A dead limb twitches.
The abandoning kind. One by one, she watched her friends go out like distant lights. It is, and was. Portofino 91, the whole sick crew. A disaster untold, a black page in the official records.
The memory hums, an exposed wire.
Reports of how it went down remain contested, inconclusive. All that's certain, it began with a phone call and ended with 6 spies lost. Some say she blew the network herself. Others blame structural factors or transnational capital. The rest just shake their heads as they look down on the smashed and leaking world. Some fool dropped it. One of ours, probably. She was recalled. They put her in the freezer. Forever. Most thought. Even in those dark days, there were whispers among the lower sublevels, where they keep the true believers. Don't count Cascade out. 5 years passed. A little more of the world leaked out of itself. Cascade's controllers ordered her back to Portofino. Because I asked them to. There is a new assignment, Cascade. I was supposed to give you the brief. Right here, in an armchair in a safe house above a 24-hour photo shop in the city-state of Portofino. No one special, just an arm-like sack of cytoplasm, a special move unique to single-cell organisms. But before that, I was like you, a spy for the People's Republics, one of the varieties of mankind. This is a dangerous place, Cascade. I should never have come. I got caught with my pants down. On the plus side, I no longer have to worry about independent thought or movement. We're not. This is all you, conversing with your own mental projections, reconciling the dissonance inherent to your role, like you were trained to do. Life is beautiful, cruel, full of hidden cues that I missed. Maybe next time. Don't blame yourself, operant. Whatever happens has already happened.
Splayed on the chair before you is a man, approximately mid-30s. His chest rises and falls in steady rhythm as he stares beyond you, unblinking. Alive, yet not alive. His eyes are fixed glassily on the ceiling. The pupils quiver like a failing heartbeat. Cream paint, peeling slightly. A small room in a city past its prime. Nothing to suggest why the man is so interested in it. He's been like this since you walked in. Anything to the contrary should be marked down as a grip on reality type problem. No response, no jolt, no tremor. All posts deserted. The green of long-corroded copper. As for the face around the eyes, his jaw hangs slack, his glasses askew. The lopsided headphones accentuate a large bald spot atop his crown. Stiff-collared shirt, a snug brown jacket, and nothing below the waist but a pair of red briefs. As your eyes reach his feet, you notice that the man is also wearing 3 layers of socks, each slightly shorter than the one beneath it. This detail strikes you as very sad. There is no smell of alcohol, nor any open containers, no drug paraphernalia either, just a loose cord trailing to the stereo system. Your fingers detect a faint, steady pulse within the base of his wrist. Elevated, but not critical. When in theatre, an operant must always prepare to be assassinated. Of course, it is better not to be killed. If so, his affliction is beyond your diagnostic power. The man's eyes glisten. Bright red veins blossom around their edges. If so, he will have to become something else entirely. You both exist now in different futures. However he ended up like this, the result is the same. Operant lost. A snail's trail of dried saliva glints on the side of his chin. The people's spy cannot be caught shirking. Time to escalate. Clipped to the inside flap of his jacket, you find a laminated badge, emblazoned with the crest of the Import-Export Bureau of the People's Republic of Kohila. The name reads, Esteman T. Below that, a title, Im Ex-Lead Hosiery. Sock Merchant, one of the opera's most battle-tested covers. That's what the badge says. And look how well that worked out for him. You remain ungovernable. No, in the official parlance, you. Then you. But not before. And... three other things of note. A slip of paper, a business card, and a rock-hard piece of candy. It's a purchase order for 10 socks, made out to Carmuna Pessoa. Bootleg bazaar. No coordinates found. Some kind of marketplace, and not one you've ever been to. The slip of paper grows heavy in your hand. It feels like a baton. The card is cheap and scuffed. It reads, "All you need is miracle," above a cartoonish image of disembodied lips at a phone receiver. Notably absent is an actual phone number. There's an indecipherable scribble. Whatever's written seems to begin with a D. Into your pocket it goes. A wrapped-up rectangle of compressed sugar. It's so hard that your fingers cannot make an impression, no matter how much you strain. Cola flavor, if you had to guess. The candy slips back into the pocket's depths. You retract your hand from the man's pockets. Your double didn't notice your arrival. He doesn't notice your departure either. The bed looks serviceable. Deformed pillows and a depression in the mattress show it has been used. Room for two. You were supposed to lie here alongside your double. A few of them you already know. At least this one gives you access to a bed, should you ever want to lay in it. You turn away. Daylight spills in from the window. The small table has been turned into a makeshift desk. A startlingly red folder stands out against the clutter. The small label in the top left corner is printed with one word. Your cryptonym, Cascade. The folder opens with a whoosh. Before you in neat monospace type, your life is condensed to its barest elements. Name, Will Kershaw. Cryptonym, Cascade. Born Landau, former Republic of Mercia. Dependents, none. Pay class D2. Years of service, 14. Childhood, bourgeois, typical. History of student radicalism led to persecution by monotheist reactionaries. Fled to People's Republic of Kohila. Embraced post-historical materialism. In short, born capitalist, reborn communist. Medical record. History of dissociative episodes and reckless action. Gunshot, chest. Retained bullet. 10mm pre-service. The bullet nuzzles your aorta. Your heartbeat flutters. Sexuality. Homosexual tendencies. Unconfirmed. Suicide risk minimal. Ideation only. As our moral statisticians have repeatedly instructed, suicide is merely a coward's way to spit one last time upon the party. End of list. According to this file, that's all there is to you. There's another page behind this one. It's labeled Service History. A tingle in your fingers. Your head grows lighter as you approach the crash site. In just a few words, the worst failure of your life is reduced to bureaucratic shorthand. Previous assignment, Portofino 88 to 91. Network, whole sick crew. Operants, Cascade. Assets. A secret the Opera has elected to keep from itself. Obvious. The Opera wanted him to know what sort of spy he'd be working with. Most recent assignment, Novessa, 91 to present. Satellite Facility B. Status inactive. AKA the Freezer, the Opera's labyrinthine archival complex, where the old, useless and discredited are consigned until they're dismissed, or die of despair. Or very occasionally, until fate recalls them to the Opera's service. The folder shuts itself with a tiny sigh. Amidst the crumpled sheets of copy paper and empty takeout containers, you find an opened pack of cigarettes, Suprema mark. There are a few mangled filters in the ashtray. Secreted neatly against the inner wall of the pack, just as you were once taught to do yourself. A crisply folded sheet of A7 paper. It reads, ZWS, JMXVB TW, AON, TRRA, KB, ZQYMUSGS. You've carried papers like this, folded up and hidden away in secret pockets and compartments. Short, uneven letter chains, likely a Rosetta cipher, the most basic kind used by the Operant Bureau, designed to be decrypted by a one-time key. The pack slides nicely into your pocket, as though it always belonged there. ZWS, JMXVB TW, AON, TRRA, KB, ZQYMUSGS. The perfectly ordered letters offer no response. As you turn away, a phone begins to ring. You pick up the phone. The handset vibrates in your palm. A peculiar species of static washes over your ear. Half a world away, a familiar voice splits into 256,000 encrypted fragments before coalescing again by your ear.
Please tell me you have good news.
The voice of authority. Don't let her down. Become the operant she needs you to be.
Operant, you made it. Your voice hasn't changed. We'll get to catch-ups later. Put pseudopod on the line.
You glance over at the man in the chair. This is wrong. You shouldn't be here. This should be happening to someone else. It takes all your concentration to keep the receiver steady against your ear. For a moment, no one says anything. There's no sound at all save for the blood in your ear and the electrostatic hum of the ultra-long-distance connection.
Has he been zeroed out?
Eliminated, killed, rendered inoperant.
That doesn't tell us much. What else? He's from the People's Republics. Of course he smokes Supremus. And? Did you manage to decode it? In other words, you've got nothing. I'll ask one more time. Is your double zeroed out?
You must speak the word. She cannot make the determination herself. Once you say it, there's no going back. The momentum of events will overtake you.
Cascade, is your double zeroed out or not? Yes, you do. Is he zeroed out, operant? Right. I wonder which it is. Have our enemies blown us up already? Or is this just another day at the basement massage parlor of spy services? Fucking hell.
She's wondering how long till she can have a drink. Shriekily liqueur from a can. It's been several hours since her last.
The opera's going to hang me by the toes. For you, it's back to Satellite Facility B. That's exactly the problem. You haven't got pseudopod and you haven't got the assignment either. Listen to me. This assignment is over. Effective immediately.
Over. Immediately. The words ricochet inside your skull.
The woman in the Photoshop downstairs, Constance. She's one of ours. Let her deal with Pseudopod. Do not tell her anything she doesn't need to know. As for you, we need to get you on the next aerotram out of the city.
Disregard. Time for some self-directed espionage. That numberless phone line may be worth investigating. Perhaps the room contains other leads as well. No way things have gone this bad this quickly. There's only one possible explanation.
Simulation. That's a new one.
Precisely what the facilitator of a simulation would be required to say.
This must be some kind of maladapted trauma response. There should still be flights departing for Superblock territory tonight. Make sure you're on one of them. That's great, because you're not actually supposed to do anything. This assignment is over. Get on the next tram. If what you're saying is true, enemies abound. Don't get yourself zeroed out.
A click, and the line goes dead. A pair of men's trousers are hung delicately over the shower rail. They seem much better cared for than their owner. Brown, shapeless, utterly unremarkable. The front and back pockets are completely empty, except for a few pieces of linen. You discover a small extra pocket inside the front right pocket. You slip 2 fingers inside and come away with a neatly folded sheet of paper. The page is notebook-sized and perforated along one edge. It reads, THA 7LES APR 032 WIFO 9W TBGFL W25. We'll be spying harder when you crack this thing. One of the many mysteries concerning men's trousers. You leave the trousers as they were. Following the cord from your double's headphones, you come to a mid-sized home stereo resting on a sideboard. Through the translucent view panel, you see a single red disc loaded in place. On the face of the disc are the words, Ultravioletta, Hubert from a Dream, handwritten on thin strips of tape. You don't recognize the artist. The disc is loaded, ready to tell you. The chunky button makes a satisfying little thunk as you push it in. The discus begins to turn, You know because the spindle was rotating, though the speakers don't produce any sound at all. It doesn't appear to be. The disc is spinning the way it's meant to. No sound, save the thin layer of static that lines the inner cables. The music player blinks, slowly. Or do you? You can't tell. The silence is being overtaken by a different silence, like the slow darkening of night across the wall of an empty room. This new silence seeps into every corner of your body, loosening fixtures, rattling drawers. There is still no sound, but in your mind an image forms of a blasted heath, a smouldering circle at its center. Figures in tattered robes stagger and sway on the horizon. Your mind blanks, the power grid ravaged by an unseen, faraway storm. A second-floor studio apartment above the Photo 24 while you wait film lab on Orphanage Street in the independent city-state of Portofino. Slowly, you return to yourself. The apartment looks the same, just about. Nothing. You're simply playing a disc on a common home stereo system. The sort of thing millions of people across the world do every day. No, you probably shouldn't. The static quiets as you reset the volume. A brief internal hum. Then the disc slides halfway out of the machine and waits there like it's trying to hide from you. You remove the red disc and place it into your pocket. You step away from the equipment.
Enough! You're blacklisted. Take your sick little games elsewhere.
Easy, lady. I just want to develop some photographs. I'm not trying to take your innocence.
Does that poor girl even know what you're up to?
You have a wild imagination. A little photo should not count as a crime. It's not like it's a loaded gun or something.
The woman casts a split-second glance in your direction, requesting assistance.
Stark realities that prevent me from pursuing my interests. Also racism, maybe.
A crackle of recognition behind his eyes as they meet yours. Nowhere. You've never seen this man before in your life.
What?
She's probably another victim of your so-called street art.
What a full spectrum question. Perhaps you've been huffing photochemicals with this confused woman. Very well. Photo 24 can have this round. Thank you for this extreme stress I'll now carry through my day.
He gives you one more glance as he leaves, garish coat flapping behind him.
That was exciting, wasn't it? Nobody. A seedy little oddity who likes making fantastical threats. Oh yes, keen photographer, limited in subject. Lucky for you to only catch him on the day of his banishment. Ah, while I have it here, this is the screwdriver pseudopod requested. For the fax machine.
She gestures towards the monstrous off-white plastic machine behind you.
Speaking of, where is your double?
Basic social engineering. First, take the target into your confidence. Her look is wary, but intrigued. 2, turn an admirable quality into a vulnerability.
That's strange. No one said anything to me about a meta-task. Ah, I understand. This is a test to check our information security. I'll have you know Pseudopod's not told me anything. He's kept it intensely tight.
3, exploit, exploit, exploit. She studies the wrinkled slip of paper a moment before returning it.
I don't know who this Carmuna is, or what's her connection to Pseudopod.
She pronounces Carmuna with a slight distaste, like she's naming a rival.
But the bootleg bazaar, that's no mystery. Pseudopod was just down there yesterday. It's where all the knockoffs and illegal imports come make their way into the city. It's only sprung up in the last few years. Part of the whole mania of all things Lusian. He said he intended to interview some of the vendors. I can't tell you what he was after, precisely.
There. 2 lines of inquiry converge. Bring this purchase order to the bazaar. That's your next stop.
You can practically see it from the front door. Due south, in the ruins of the old Essilk factory. Head west from the roundabout. If by some chance you find yourself in Party Alley, it means you've gone the wrong way. I hope you write Pseudopod a glowing report. From what I've seen so far, he certainly deserves it. Was there anything else? Very well. Forgive me, is this still part of the test? Shouldn't you be the one advancing thesis and so forth? Granted, this is only my debut, but it seems to me that something's very amiss. No matter what we do, Nothing appears to go according to plan. Pseudopod says it's all part of the work, but it gives me a rather unsettled feeling. A bit early for such a declaration, isn't it? You've only just arrived.
She gives you a nod.
It's that little amber light. It means out of order, and I haven't been able to get it to green, meaning in order. Pseudopod assured me this machine was a vital tool of communication, as precious to our work as the magic box we installed on your room phone. I'm telling you now, Operant. That's what's happening here. You've received all sorts of technical training, I presume. I would think getting a little light to turn green should be well within your powers. I certainly don't. It looks flirtatious. Never during working hours. Seedy business attracts itself. Try the fogged mirror. It's a bar just to the west, along Party Alley.
It must be said, there's no mention of a fogged mirror in the files. It almost certainly holds no deep personal or professional significance for you whatsoever. A den of ghosts.
It is. Highly. What do you mean?
A lead weight pulls her expression downward.
My God. You're saying he's... Oh. Oh, God.
Shock, bewilderment. Your cue. Behind the acrylic display case, your eye catches on a scene of an amateur pelota squad, smiling against a sun-bleached wall.
What do we do, Operant? It was yesterday, when he returned for the evening. He looked stressed, like he was shouldering a great burden. It must have been the assignment, I'm sure. No, not depressed.
This isn't getting anywhere.
Pseudopod was a very good teacher. He said it would fall on me to see after any operants who are incapacitated in theatre. I wonder, did he ever suspect he was talking about himself? Absolutely not. Nobody's been upstairs except yourself and Pseudopod. I can assure you, Operant. Oh dear, I could use a rag. I've never seen this before. What's on it? No, I don't pay attention to all that. Music is very overrated in my opinion. But it's just a disc. How can that be? I must say, it doesn't look like a regular disc like you buy at the shops. This looks more like a bootleg. I haven't the faintest idea. I'm adrift. Pseudopod struck me as an absolute professional and very cautious.
She's dying inside. She felt a great deal of affection for your double. Your double's condition is of secondary importance.
I suppose I could move him to this spare room down here. That way I can keep an eye on him. A doctor. Right. Good thinking. Dr. Hugo would help. He runs a houseboat clinic in the back ways to the west of the old docks, past the waterlock.
She doesn't respond, but looks down as her cheeks flush deep crimson.
Of course. The least I can do. Before you do, I understand this is your first time back in theatre for some time.
She hesitates, a little shy all of a sudden.
I just wanted to say, welcome back to the opera.
The screen flickers, static turns to black. A booming voice emerges.
Did you know water covers approximately 63% of the world, but the sky covers 100%?
Wrong. The sky is only 98% sky. The other 2% is used to cover up the fact that they replaced the moon 4 times.
On screen, there appears a man with a paper bag over his head. He gesticulates wildly.
But they don't want you to know that. That's why they're coming for me. But not before I tell you the truth.
The screen warps and color shifts. Between clips of the bagman talking, a phone number flashes urgently. You jot down the digits as Bagman watches on.
I am Subcommandante Beckman, and this is the reality situation. No breaks, no filters, no cowards. I know about the Boers. I know about iodine. La Luz's invisible aircraft carriers, weaponized nostalgia, microbial microphones, lunar obfuscation programs.
For 300 years, the Lusian elite have been producing psychic copies of themselves, all to preserve the consciousness of one man, the original techno-fascist.
What else are they hiding from us?
Find out what I know by tuning into the reality situation. Airing until they shut us down.
The sounds from the commercial fade. A humongous white block of office technology sits in front of you. It looks like a sacrificial altar made of plastic. Inside, mechanical parts are assembled in such a way that it can scream analog messages across huge distances. Image quality, and whatever remains of human patience. Your screwdriver makes short work of the starhead screws holding the side panel in place. You set them aside one by one and gently remove the plastic panel. There's no sense to be made of the mass of wires, belts, and rollers before you.
I was assured there'd be many urgent communiques coming through this machine.
You turn away from the fax machine. Bad news. The fax machine has not fixed itself. You turn away from... The clinic's metal door is scabbed with rust and surrounded by graffiti. An official-looking sign hangs to the right of it. Open nights, no knock-in. Next animal who bleeds on this door gets sedated through the eye. Scrawled badly in horrific fonts. Fraud, butcher. Gonza owes me a tooth. Charged me for screaming. A vulgar drawing of a doctor seemingly fornicating with a leg. Warped frame, cheap steel, hinges rusted like old teeth. No reinforcement. You could kick this in. but it'd make a mess. Flimsy, much like the door. Would be easy if you had a lockpick. You turn back toward the noise of Party Alley. Wild boar piglets snuffle through the city's trash, still wearing the stripes of babyhood like halitosis humbugs. Behold, the cloven-hoofed effect of urban administrative collapse. You underestimate the nutritional value of a well-trafficked alley. Plus, with noses that adorable, there will always be kind citizens to leave out some kibble. But where there are boarlets, there are boars. An adult can be up to 500 pounds of bristled, pitiless hog, with tusks. You scan from left to right, checking the alley's tangled contours for a hint of hairy maternal rage. There is none. Yes. No interest from the hogolescents. You leave the boars to their devices. An altar to Belarus, the bazaar's unofficial patron star. It is cluttered and precarious with offerings. A spectacle of porphyrian humanity. The steps worn with years of its visitors' hope and grief. Whatever their meaning, they were enough to summon you here, now to this shrine rammed into the side of the city. Ink stains and knife scratches adorn the shrine. Jagged words cast toward the flickering skies. In your guiding, we learn Do you envy our brief, searing lives? Marco loves puss. As you fade, we follow. A collection of cheap plastic photo frames, haphazardly arranged on a red checkered tablecloth. Each heavy with significance, all of it lost on you. Between them lie offerings and totems, a necklace, some out-of-circulation coins, an old packet of smokes. Ouroboros Black, an imported brand. As soon as you pick it up, you feel that whatever's inside it is not cigarettes. Outslide a few staple pages folded neatly into a little cuboid, almost exactly the dimensions of the package. Rite of passage. It's an exit visa. Permission to travel freely out of Portofino. A hush falls over the shrine. A wisp of smoke tendrils into the air. An elderly man stares back at you from a printed headshot at the document's apex. Long black and grey hair swept back in a wave. Augustino Dante, according to the name on the pages. Born in the year 27 in La Luz. The name, who knows? The document, yes. City issued. Holographic stamp and all. You refold the pages along their elaborate creases and slip them in your pocket. You pinch your eyes tight, but no words come. And why would they? Remnants of a more primitive phase of consciousness. Nothing you should concern yourself with. A pit of hopelessness opens in your stomach as you skim the rows of faces. You have no words for this place, and it has none for you. Dock workers' voices carry to you on the breeze, breaking the shrine's strange peace. Silk number 3, the old silk factory, once the pounding heart of the city. Pseudopod had a purchase order from a vendor called Carmuna. She must be in here somewhere. You also have that curious red disc to hand. A media specialist could likely tell you more. A filthy flyer glued to the wall. A row of bespectacled men stare into the middle distance, while in their midst a lone figure looks towards the viewer. A man with a brown paper bag on his head. Above him in bold letters, the reality situation. Yellow text in black and white. Tune in, everyday coverage, and in all caps, they did it again. The Sub-Commandante salutes you. Bagman's stare seems to harden as he watches you walk away from his flyer. The Guardia Municipal officer is intensely scratching at his neck. As you approach, he wipes his hand on his trouser leg.
Hola, miss. Hope there's a reason you've stopped an officer while he's on duty.
The folks who guard property rights are not worthy of answers.
No better place for that. Officer Morito, agente coordinador for the Guardia Municipal. Do you need help with anything? I can tell you Petra the music vendor's a major arsehole. I asked him about an old Blood Golem disc, and he told me he'd rather tie polystyrene blocks to his feet and jump in the canal than look for it.
Doesn't make sense. Why not go for something that sinks?
I told him as much. He said that was the point. His demise should be slow, so that I'd hear him scream for hours. I suspect he mostly hates himself. I don't get why he brings up all this violent stuff all the time. If he ever goes through with it, there won't be any shock value. It'll just be sad. Blood Golem is a band. Blood Golem heals all wounds. It's the sound that raised us from shit-crusted upright apes into humans. Blood Golem might have been banned where you're from. Their post-sludge is too revolutionary for most places. Primal, filthy, slow, all ending. Like an army of giants growling underwater while smashing cliffs together.
None of these words make any sense to you, either singly or even less in combination.
As a matter of fact, too powerful for most Portaferans. It's like nobody cares about our own music anymore. Or art, really. We've had instances of theft around the docks recently. All the crates were ripped open in strange ways. Anything and everything. Seems like the work of kids, if you ask me. Must be trying to scare people too, as weird noises have been heard at night. Screaming and howling. Apart from that, it's quiet. Just how I like it. The quieter, the better, I'd say. Really, the hardest part's keeping people away from the boars. That's the big one. It's not the young you need to worry about. We're dealing with an infestation, and they get much larger. It used to be a seasonal problem. Every autumn, some adults would come down bold and hungry. But lately, it's more of a permanent residency. The hills up north, as far as I've heard. Valle de Suspiro. You've got thorns, ferns, old trees. A nightmare to patrol. At best, they're a nuisance. The little ones are fine, but the adults could take off a kneecap if you're not careful. And then there's the really big one. The mother. Massive. Furs all matted. Covered in scars, territorial too. Preys on drunks, stumbling back from Party Alley. Tusks, claws, knives, bullets. Take your pick. Every few years, some brave moron tries to take her down, but she stands undefeated. You got a weird glint in your eyes. Let's not do anything stupid, all right? You back away, slowly. If you get a whiff of it charging, find something to climb if you can. And then, come find me. How bad does it look? Shit, I knew it. I hope it's not the topical ball repellent I've been using. Instructions said to apply generously. An error was hoping it'd help.
As you step away, the GM returns to scratching his inflamed skin. A dusty and disused storefront, closed with a metal shutter. Above, a faded sign names the building, the Animal Zone. You lift the shutter gently. It resists. Locked around you, scattered pairs of eyes watch as you jiggle the shutter. Too many people around for a break-in. Come back at night, or find another entrance. Carl was here. M plus Y, heart. Unstoppable trade forever. Marito is a dog rapist. You turn away from the storefront. Refreshments are lined up like brightly colored soldiers, neatly regimented behind. The refreshments remain. The man gives no indication of registering your presence. His mirrored sunglasses are turned skywards. But he's aware you're here.
You're excused. Help you with something?
His jacket's been patched over many times. Storied. The slightest hesitation. Something's off here. An old, low-slung workhorse with tar patches, welded plates, and mismatched boards. Resin on the seams, hairline cracks across the hull. Someone's been fighting to keep it alive. His chin dips once. He lowers his head and
Finally, someone with courtesy. Do you know when the 9 is coming?
a handsome man shifts in place, glancing over his shoulder towards the tram lines. Suitcases surround him.
Ah, sorry to bother you, madame. I suppose not everyone is stranded here like myself. I'm waiting on the 9. I was told it was having some problems. But it's supposed to be in service any day now.
An exotic air about this man. Difficult to place. And exceptionally handsome. The suit he's wearing hasn't been changed in days.
Zunzark. A long way from here. I was told it's supposed to be in service any day now. That was a week ago.
Enough time to grow accustomed to new surroundings and start noticing things.
I agree. But what am I to do? It seems to be the only way out of this city. I would appreciate it. I did see a man like that some days ago, I think. Near the bazaar, in fact.
Our sleeping brother.
No, he was alone. Why do you ask? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'll keep an eye out. Thank you. I'll be here in the meantime. Wait.
Loose stitching and cheap fabric. The odd cotton hemorrhoid erupting at the seams. Their pelts are damp and shiny with rain. You expect the smell of wet dog. There is none. Soft animals, mostly stylized blobs with little regard for real anatomy. There are brand logos on the sides, Non-uniformly misspelled or upside down, but recognizably the same. Zoo Textile Leluz. Leluz, expansive techno-fascist state known for high-quality electronics, pogroms, and pop music. Boneless flesh bound in impossible colors, twisted into seductively pleasing shapes. Brazen political threat. The pile declares that this too is the future of the working class. Defanged, fuzzy, sold in a heap. The different species are all numbered. Number 1's are bunnies, number 2's cats, number 4 an anatomically unviable whale. There are no number 3's. Then what animal was so irresistible to the consumer? You said yourself these plushies are sinister. What shape has breached containment? Inside you. Nothing yet. Still hunting. Plushie 3 has shredded the social contract. Plushie number 3 is you. You turn back to the bazaar. A cosmonaut suit. A relic of Project Altanamia. Its shoulder patch reads, "The stars are ours, 77. If it is, then it's one of the few things for sale here that isn't a knockoff Lusian electronic disc or toy. 5,000 sol. You try to remember something of astronomical significance happening in the year 77. But all that comes to mind is that was the year you were asked to leave ballet. You told your mother you left on your own. She said she was embarrassed to raise such a terrible liar. None of this has anything to do with space, though. Your focus widens back to the bazaar.
Excuse me. Can you take a look at this?
The young woman turns from a store of party wigs and beaded necklaces to thrust a photograph under your nose. A Huda burrow. She the mouse within. The photograph shows a robust man well into his 60s. He is unremarkable save his eyes, which are magnified to comedic proportions by the thick lens spectacles in front of him.
Have you seen him before? Have you? Mi viejo, my dad. He's been missing a few days. Right, I should have started with that, I guess. His name's Enoch Clance.
She's fading. No sleep. 3, maybe 4 days now.
He's kind of forgetful sometimes. Not a lot, but I'm just worried. I told him watching too much TV was making him crazy.
She raises her hand to bite her nails. A new habit. They're bleeding.
No, I mean, that's the most likely scenario, right? Ugh, this is kind of embarrassing.
Embarrassment isn't the problem. A much darker feeling is trying to claw its way into our consciousness.
My dad developed this insane theory about the payphone to the western exit of the bazaar. Dad thought certain words said into the right phone gets you attention from the wrong people. He was convinced Emter was behind it all.
Emter, aka l'Empire Sans Territoire, aka the Bank. Equal parts Global Development Fund and Spy Service. Linchpin of the developed world. The bloody hand of transnational capital.
Dad and his friend Gilmar were big into conspiracies. They were obsessed with the reality situation. They really bought all that stuff. Bagman did an episode on them, and so Gilmar started following random people, thinking they were from the bank. Not long after, he roped my dad into it. Guys in expensive business suits, usually. Foreign accents, verbally abusive, and tight with their money. Except when it comes to treating a client. Normal rich guy stuff. Hitting up the bars and shouting abuse at the local drunks. And then they disappeared into penthouses where they couldn't be followed. Miriajo did, but Gilmar stayed out. And then he called my dad around 2 in the morning. He'd overheard something and was explaining it when the call just cut off. My dad went by his house the next day, but Gilmar wasn't there. Yeah. He looked for Gilmar for 2 weeks. Reported him missing to the GMs. Nothing. A couple days ago, he stopped by the stall to bring me lunch. Then he said he was going to make a call. I wasn't nervous at first. I figured there was no risk of anything actually happening. And then he didn't come home. No. I mean, he just can't leave things alone when he gets an idea into his head.
Momentarily, the mumbling from the nearby stalls hushes. Listening.
They seem pretty random. Cousins, moon, reunion. On their own, sure. Together? Gibberish. I guess. When he tried to tell me, I wasn't really paying attention to him. He had those written down on a pad in his bedroom. He told me not to say them if I used the phone. It all sounded so silly. Anyway, you want a wig? I hear they make you fun at parties. Oh yeah, he came by. Nice man. Talked a lot about socks. He was, normal. Pretty forgettable, if I'm honest. I told him, unless your socks are mismatched and neon-colored, I'm not much use to you. Not really. Wandered off into the bazaar.
Looking you straight in the eyes. Sympathetic. She really doesn't know.
What do you mean, something's happened? Did he use the phone? Oh, well, at least you have that. Sorry. Yeah, I was kind of distracted when he showed up. Oh, that's Ultravioleta, the Lusian pop star. Always thought that type of music was too young for me, but I've been enjoying her stuff recently for some reason. No, but it's definitely her kind of title.
She peers at the disc again, blonde hair falling over her face.
Weird disc, that. Oh, you should ask Petra at the music stall over there. He'll know more. Doubt he's an ultra, though.
Wig topiary, plastic tiaras, novelty sunglasses. A burst of colours and textures vying for your attention. All of them losing. Behind it all, you see an oddly familiar shape. The tailored shoulders, the sharp collar. The shape is robust and clean, with an architectural asymmetry. Like a knife. A cape, but nothing like the other costume pieces around it.
Why?
Knuckles white as she balls them into fists.
Really? You're not going to try to make a call or anything, right? Okay. It's the phone by the western entrance to the bazaar. I guess I used to. Haven't had time lately. But I usually know when something's going on, even if I'm not gonna be there. There's a show somewhere in the Hill of Pigs tonight, but it's already sold out. Dead. Still a few maggots writhing around in the corpse, maybe, but looking at them just makes you sadder, you know? 10 or 15 years ago, there were feedback parties in the backways. Anyone who played loud enough could jam. You'd hear the distortion 3 canals away.
Feedback parties. She must mean communal ideological struggle sessions.
Now, if anybody plays around here at all, it's just covers of Lucian stuff. Blood Golem?
Her voice explodes with enthusiasm, a register so long lost to her that it crackles a little as it erupts.
Of course I've heard of Blood Golem. I was at their last show here. Haven't thought about them in ages. Petrus should have a disc of theirs if you want to listen. They fucking reap. It was at the War Drum in Party Alley. Demolished now. Used to be evil gigs in there. Shoulder to shoulder every night. Edge of violence. Until the GMs came and shut the electricity off, nailed planks over the door, said there were noise complaints. Bullshit. It was a sanitization campaign, trying to make Portofino look like a mall, hoping the bank would give us more money. But that night, the crowd turned up same as ever. We ripped off the planks and partied in a hollow shell. Blood Golem played their set on portable amps, sounded like shit. Best show of my fucking life. Wasn't hearing anything by the end of the night. That set ruptured both my eardrums. Didn't give a shit. I haven't thought about Blood Golem in so long. There'll always be that night, you know. Anthem for the fucked. Yeah, alright. It's a Carabinero outfit.
Carabineros are Portofero's sanctioned police investigators. They report directly to the Prefectura and deal in actual crime. Murder, grand larceny, rape.
That'd be illegal. Second-hand surplus warehouse in Lower Viudas was closing down a while back. Big clearance sale.
Still not a yes. She's nervous, looking away. Could get a discount out of it.
Shit. Look, I have to make some profit. I can't go much lower than the listed price, but I can go a little lower.
Nice.
No, I told Officer Morito. He said it was above his pay grade. He kicked it up, and they kicked it right back down. Yeah, it's for sale. The whole set's back here. Just let me know if you're interested. Yeah, they're right there. Take a look.
The young woman discreetly hands you the carabinero equipment.
Yeah, all right. Cool. Must be some party you're going to. You need anything else? Thanks for stopping by.
She's going to melt his head.
On the TV, a giant wolf-like creature stands up on its hind legs and howls. Its fur bristles gold. Shh. Suddenly, the beast roars and light floods the screen. It's followed by a wet, pulpous sound.
Ecstatic Wolf is awake.
The children ignore you.
Off-brand driver, cheap plastic housing.
The man gazes down at a crate of cartridge discs, eyes narrowed, lips drawn. A box of little nemesis. Veins rise like old roots beneath his thin skin.
Mass-produced excrement. These animals pleasure themselves in it. Those smears near the optical pickups? That's not damage. Shame. It oozes out over time. You see this? Each one guaranteed for 10,000 replays. Obscene. No. I'm talking about cultural ephemera. Speciality? But, as you can see, I spend my days backed into a corner, hopelessly outnumbered by the dead-eyed horde, dreaming of format-assisted auto.
Capital beats down another one. What a joy it is to be unregulated. Elitists like this come in two varieties. Audiophile or cultural nostalgic. This man is definitely the latter.
That's right. Most people can't tell the difference between a base pleasure and a higher one. Imaginative faculties dulled by senseless repetition. Forgive me, friend. I'd mistaken you for a common replayer.
This is the highest compliment he's paid to anyone in months. Maybe years.
Too much to ask, I expect, that you're a fellow Einzelton aficionado.
Einzeltone. No entries found. And no point trying to pretend.
One of a fast-fading few. Go ahead, browse away. My name's Petre. If you need anything, I'll be here, lamenting what's left of the culture.
The vendor's eyes narrow behind his orange lenses.
This is a media store, not the missing persons division. Bother one of the GMs with questions like that.
They prune the conversation forcefully, artificially. There is more.
I try. So most of humanity fades into an indistinguishable morass of banality. This colleague, what does he look like? The sock boy. dialectical-looking glasses, air of advanced virginity. Yes, he came by here. Little communist lost, adrift among the many wonders of the free market. Well, viewed it might be a stretch. Let's just say the man was definitely mobile. Your dialectical friend mistook himself for some sort of big money businessman. He wanted the bazaar to import superblock hosiery. Socks to start with, but there was talk of cotton tights, even stockings if the venture took off.
He needed you.
No. And to be honest, I wouldn't have wasted the stock. He seemed immune to music. You're joking, of course. He didn't even know what a velodisc was, let alone an Einzelton. At a certain point, I'm just debasing myself. Of course not. I don't sell socks. So is he all right, your man? Or what? Ah, so you're also a communist. But you're not that little, or particularly lost, I'd say.
The vendor gauges you behind his colored lenses, tongue skimming teeth.
I'll be blunt. Are you with a weeping eye?
The techno-fascist secret police of Laloons, dark subconscious of the state, specializing in old-school, ugly methods. Your natural enemies, the ones who took you all apart 5 years ago. Hackles rise.
Because they've been especially active here recently. Usually they just let things slide. All the Lucian merchandise, good for everyone. But these days, they're staring right at us, unblinking. Keep them. If things get too hot, I can always slit my wrists with a shard of velodisc before they take me down.
Oddly specific.
My point is, your colleague was asking questions. Now, something's obviously happened, and here you are, also asking questions. Given the current climate, no one wants to answer these questions, least of all, me. Then I would attempt to educate, obviously. I'm not some kind of street hustler, friend. My merchandise is mega premium, the best this side of the big blockers. I'll tell you what I told your sock friend. Speak to the boatman down by the vest docks. He's the one who knows the underground goings-on around here. We're just the vendors. Like I said, no one is going to take kindly to being interrogated these days. But your friend was there. I guarantee it. Talk to the boatman a good half hour. After that, I know nothing. Wonderful. Now for all our sakes, please say no more. If you want to talk media formats, I'm your man. This other stuff... Strange how? Format or content?
He takes the disc warily.
An Einzelton XR.
All pretense drops. The red glints in his lenses.
Where did you get this? Einzelton hasn't been available to consumers for a decade. A disc in good condition is worth thousands of sold to people who appreciate its wonders.
specialists. Collectors of the rare and the defunct. People like him, in other words.
The apex of auditory technology. A high-fidelity yet dynamic sonic experience that self-effaces after a single play. A magnet embedded in the disc erases its contents as it's being listened to. As in life, everything happens only once. Replayability is oblivion. The end. You can imagine the use cases yourself. Rental markets, promotional copies, that sort of thing. The technical origins are trite.
Espionage potential, immense. The burn after reading function built into the medium itself.
Its deeper purpose is simply to exist, to remain in a rarefied realm of pure potentiality and infinite beauty. You played it. And what? You thought to defile a corpse a little more just for fun? I expected better from you. Better they recalled them all years ago. Better a mass manufacturing fault than this, to save them from this humiliation from being passed around like...
The vendor deflates before you. His rising anger gone in an instant, like a fuse being tripped.
I'm sorry.
Talking to the Einzeltone, not you.
Ultraviolet is a pop singer. Degenerate, Lucian, Electro-Dross. There's a new fabricated star every day, it seems, but she's the top of today's pile. As for the title, probably the works of a brain-dead marketing committee. The fact that it's committed to Einzeltone suggested some kind of promo copy. Some new advancement of degeneracy from across the Nos Correntes. Of course it's real. You can't bootleg an Einzeltone. Another of its enduring qualities. This ultraviolet has gone missing at the moment. Kidnapped by counter-fascist radicals, whatever that means. Lucian marketing plot, if you ask me.
The next time the world sees her, she'll be clasping an assault rifle, draped in the flag of the party.
Mystery, fragility, trying to add something of the legendary to her status.
The vendor looks at the red disc and runs a thumb over its surface.
None of this is the Einzeltone's fault, of course. They can't control what gets seared upon them. You seem to have misunderstood my soliloquy. It's done. Enormous. The beauty and the tragedy of the format. I hope you dispose of it with dignity. I think a private ceremony would be most appropriate. Maybe not. The bazaar is closing up soon. Another day, another day. format-sensitive friend. How goes it?
Nothing is ever truly gone. Everything leaves a residue. Everything with a charge can be summoned back.
I'm afraid not. The format is near obsolete. Einzeltone is the past, yet it contains the future. How exquisite.
The vendor recoils, as if you just spat at his feet.
So, your question is, Petre, how do I reanimate a corpse? I would class it as necrophilia, actually. I'll be honest, the thought is so disturbing to me that I've never entertained it before. But theoretically...
Breach warning. You are now hacking the firewall of techno-philosophy.
You would have to repolarize, re-remnants processing, probably a concentrated magnetic flip, neodymium grader. It would involve some custom gear, no doubt, but my answer to your distressing question is yes. I think you could. Why don't you film it and make a snuff disc out of it? One for the techno-voyeurs. Don't ask me about this again. I feel unclean. Shelves are over there. Mostly crass replayable formats, but such is the degenerate society we live in. Missing? Is he? I'm not surprised. That fool and his friend would wander into the jaws of a lion if they were told to. That TV show. Idiot with a bag on his head. Your regular stop for hysterical lies and paranoia. Every night at 9 p.m. The old fool was always regurgitating whatever he had heard on there the next day. It's no wonder it eventually led him into trouble. Only doctor I know is Hugo. Has a houseboat not far from here. Maybe not. The bazaar is closing up soon.
A low, tilting various sections are separated by narrow plastic dividers, each one labeled with the same neat script. A baffling assortment. Hairdresser music, children's choirs, self-love anthems, opinionated female vocalists, and too many keyboards. More labels. Falsetto-centric. Made for pederasts. Made by pederasts. Pretentious time signatures. Yodeling, ululations. You're not just flipping through records. You're going deeper into Petra's Museum of Loathing. The section Weaponized Boredom includes such titles as Music for Dentist Waiting Rooms and Narcoleptic Landscapes, both by Eloisa Alba. The care placed into the organization is itself an act of love, performed hatefully. A single label fills up the entire back row. L-pop. You feel the media vendor's eyes on you as you flip through the offerings.
Thank you. What galls me is that it doesn't matter how I label any of it. These animals thank me for being thorough, then buy two.
You try, but it's difficult to find something you're interested in while wading through the labyrinth of the salesman's disdain. Whisper funk albums, kazoo devotionals, a breakup/meditation EP, an album cover where the singer hugs themselves in the mirror, track lists with 9-minute-long affirmations, a solo project described as ecstatically celibate. You know there's something worthwhile in there, but it is lost amongst the brambles of trash. It's like there's lead rings weighing down your fingers. You can't even bring yourself to properly look through the bin. Derivative, inane shit. Made for nobody. What are you even doing here?
Do you understand now? You were warned. Abundantly. By the labels. Not my fault if you choose to ignore them.
You turn your attention. The smuggler inclines his head in silent recognition. No obvious tell. He's good. Now, stop circling each other. Commit. A still moment. From a nearby rooftop, the sound of children playing. You do not exist. You are merely the shimmer of a right-wing propaganda minister's fevered imaginings. End of the line. The pseudopod terminus. He bounced off this man and landed somewhere in oblivion. He's genuinely perplexed. Even before you ask the question, the outline of a name is forming, letter by letter. Your cerebrospinal fluid turns to liquid refrigerant. Tempo del Sur, mid-tier deity in the local underworld, and once your asset, cryptonym Taxman, also someone you once called a friend. You know a stone wall when you smack off one. He's waiting for you to put something together. Because his name is Pseudopod, and the hushed arena awaits a different spy. He's going to make you say it out loud. He nods slowly. You catch an impression of his eyes as the light hits his sunglasses. Tempo called for help, for cavalry, for you. Shards of both past and present collide. In the wreckage, a jagged pattern forms. 1. Tempo, Kryptonim taxman, your dormant asset, contacts the opera. Intent unknown, information unknown. Request, meeting with operant Cascade. Only Cascade. 2. Cascade status frozen. Duration in perpetuum. Opera issues directive. Dispatch lead operant to Portofero. 3. Pseudopod. Active in theater. Assignment. Meet with taxman. Retrieve message. 4. Pseudopod fails to meet with taxman. Requests Cascade from opera. 5. Timeline disrupted. Movements unknown. Pseudopod. Status changes to lost. 6. Cascade. Status changes to reanimated. Operant arrives in theater. Unbriefed. Unassigned. And... Questions coagulate, but at their center a truth catches the light. He's rattled, and not used to the sound of rattling. Come straight to me. Never cross my path again. Both true at once. He lowers his head in brief salute. This is the one. The payphone that makes people disappear. The receiver emits a hollow whisper in your ear. You hear only the reverberation of your own voice, amplified by the phone. Still half hoping for something to happen, you put the receiver down. Nothing happens. You hang up the phone, undisappeared. You hang up the phone.
Where'd you get a carabinero hat, miss? You shouldn't be wearing that. Could cause confusion. Not something I can arrest you for, no. But if you impersonate any kind of law official at an actual crime scene or become a nuisance, then you could end up in court. Best if you remove it when out in public. Nothing to worry about then. Can't say I'm familiar with the name.
No part of him is even trying to actually pretend.
Missing people reports are handled by the Carabineros, not the Guardia Municipal. That's procedure. I still don't know him. Were I aware of anyone conducting illicit business, formalities would be expected. Paperwork, licensing, inspections. It'd be my responsibility to report all inconsistencies.
A tinge of affection.
Not well, but I've known her a long time. Eno used to bring her here as a toddler. Yeah, Eno's gone. Him and his other fuck-up buddy Gilmar.
But not dead, he reckons, by the way his face curdles.
These two fancied themselves detectives. It's what happens when you have more time than sense on your hands. Figure these two just ran off, leaving the kid to deal with their mess. Not at the same time. That'd be too obvious. Eno reported Gilmer missing about a week before he... Way I see it, they started planting the phone story weeks ahead of time as a cover. Planned the whole scheme. Got two theories. Debts is the obvious one, of course. Now, if it's not debts, then we're clearly looking at something more salacious. Two men, yeah? Old friends, close friends, detecting together. It's sad. Kids run away from home, sure. But a parent, unnatural that. Can't. Payphones belong to Renotel.
The largest corporate entity in Portofino. A monopoly over the city's telecommunications. Their logo is a cheerful dolphin.
It's private business. The Guardia Municipal doesn't have jurisdiction to look into that. The Fiscalia. One could put a request through them, but that's a lot of paperwork. Better to stick to the law. The law's not perfect, but it's there. Sure. Don't need to...
The GM gives